What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. It is hot, so pardon the casual wear we got here. It is warm today. I don't have an AC, so I'm here trying not to melt in front of all these lights, so forgive me. My name is JC, and on this channel we talk about all things fragrance. If you like that kind of stuff, then please consider subscribing. Click that button, hit the bell so you get notified when I upload, and give this video a like so YouTube knows that you like this kind of content. So today we are talking about 10-ish fragrances. I think I actually have 11 here, so you guys get another bonus. 11 fragrances that I consider slow burns. What do I mean by that? It means that when I first smelled it, either I didn't care for it or I just straight up didn't like it. But now I've grown to really love them. A lot of them are beloved fragrances in the community, and some of them might be surprising to see on this list. And that'll be the fun part of it. So without much further ado, let's dive right in. This is in no particular order. Here at the number 11th spot, I guess, we have a decant, and this comes from the house of Creed. I'm actually gonna I got 3 Creeds here. I'm gonna knock them all out of the way at once. So 11, 10, and 9, again, no order. We got a decant of Royal Oud, and we got Green Irish Tweed, and we got Silver Mountain Water. I love all 3 of these fragrances, but when I first smelled them, particularly these 2, they were actually off-putting. I recall saying in at least one video years ago that this kind of smelled a little bit like cat urine to me. Now it smells nothing like that. So it is quite a testament to how the nose can change over time. The more you smell, the more you experience. It grows, it develops, and you know, things don't smell like cat pee anymore. This is a beautiful fragrance, very fresh, green, clean, not very mean. It's actually quite polite. It's a classic. Everybody loves this stuff. So this was a slow burn. It actually took me some time using a decant. I had a 5ml decant that I ran through, and by the end of that, I still wasn't really sold. I just kind of said, all right, whatever. I just kind of got away from it. And then I saw a bottle pop up for super cheap. I scooped it up, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, okay. And then it's just grown ever since. So Green Irish Tweed, definitely a slow burn. Silver Mountain Water, I just simply did not like this when I first smelled it. The inkiness, as people had put it, it was so prominent for me when I first smelled this. And I think it could have been a case of being influenced by the opinion of others. If I hadn't heard people say that, maybe it would have been different, I don't know. But either way, it took quite a few decants. I had little 2 milliliter decants. I remember having multiple of them, running through them just with testing and not really being sold. This is a fragrance, as well as others on this list that you'll see, I had to give it a full wearing, and you'll hear me say this a lot. You have to give a fragrance a full wearing. Why am I wagging the bottle? You have to give a fragrance a full wearing on the body, on the neck, your shoulders, whatever it is. However you spray fragrance on, that is how you should truly get the full feeling of a scent. How it smells in the air around you. You're not gonna get a good idea from right up close. You're gonna dissect everything, and you're gonna find something you don't like, and then you might write it off, because that's what I did. You know, you let it breathe, you only pick up certain elements in the air, and it really gives you an idea of what it's like to wear the fragrance. And Royal Oud, this one, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't care for it. I didn't see the hype. I actually had seen Mr. Smelly talking about this one years ago, so I picked up a decant, and he said it smells like a Christmas tree. So I smelled it. I'm like, yeah, it does smell like a Christmas tree. And I don't like that. It just didn't smell like something I'd want to wear on my body. But with time, once I've gotten to know the notes a little bit better, you know, you got lots of galbanum in here, you got pink pepper, lots of cedar wood, maybe a little bit of oud, but not really. It is spicy, very dry and woody, but still has a smoothness to it, a little bit of a sweetness in there. This is so classy. I've been slacking on getting a bottle for years. I will do so, and I've grown around to really love it. I burned through actually most of this 10 milliliter decant in the course of about, I don't know, a month. This was last year. I was loving it. So I need to give me a bottle of Royal Oud. just wanted to take this moment now to ask for your help. Now, if you're watching this video, you're already doing me a great service. I sit here in front of my camera, I talk. It's kind of weird, but I've been doing it a while, so it feels natural, and I appreciate you watching. However, I want to do this more. I want to do this a little bit more full time. I want to have more energy and time to devote to creating high quality content for you. Because right now I'm having to spend a lot of my energy and time doing other things I would rather not be doing in terms of work, so I can bring money in, working in a warehouse. In fact, I just hurt my hand today, hurt my shin, you know, just kind of getting beat up figuratively and literally. And there's a great way that you can help me out to, you know, help me achieve my goal of doing this more full time, and that would be to support me on my Patreon, which has already been growing, and I'm so grateful for that. Got a lot of really wonderful exclusive content, some things you will not see here on YouTube. Deeper conversations into fragrance, into tips and tricks and things like that. We're doing live Q&As, we're doing live one-on-one consultations. We get a chance to know each other a little bit better. So there's many ways you can help me out on my Patreon. I will link it down below. Please take a look and consider helping me. Every little bit goes such a long way. Thank you so much in advance. Okay, coming here at number 8, I believe, but again, no real order. Believe it or not, I love this fragrance. I've talked about it a lot and how much I love it. It's one of my 10 out of 10 fragrances in terms of designer scents. But when I first smelled this in a Sephora, and subsequently a few times after that, I could not stand it. Dior Homme. I did not like this. The iris, the makeup, the cosmetic-y smell was so bizarre to me. It just didn't make sense, and I'm like, why would I spray this on? Who would find this pleasant? But I would only be smelling it from paper, you know? It wasn't until maybe a few years ago, 3 years ago, when I got this bottle. I can't believe it's been that long. I haven't worn a whole lot of it, but I do love it now every time I wear it. I was on a cruise ship, and they had a duty-free store. I went in, I sprayed it on my hand. Just like, you know what, let me just on a whim. I didn't really think about it, sprayed it on, and went about the day. By the time the evening came, it was still on my hand. I wasn't really going back to it a whole lot. And I had some family members around me say like, man, what is that? That smells good. I'm like, what? I didn't put anything on. I'm like, oh wait. And I went back, I'm like, okay. You gotta wear it on the skin. Now, I liked it here, but once I gave it that full wearing, golden. Went back, bought a bottle. That is Dior Homme. Up next here, number 7, we got from the House of Cartier. This is a classic, Pasha de Cartier. Now, I think I first smelled this in a department store years ago. This one's been around a while. I want to say maybe since either the 90s or the early 2000s, something like that. It's been around for a minute. I smelled it in a department store years ago. I almost coughed and gagged. I was like, ugh, this is just stuffy old man, not interested. Happened to just pick up a bottle on a whim from FragranceNet. Not long ago, I talked about this in fragrances that are blowing my mind. This one is still doing it. I haven't talked about it much lately, but still blowing my mind when I come back to this stuff. I picked up a bottle for super cheap off FragranceNet. I'll link down below if you want to check it out. And I just needed to add a little bit more so I can get free shipping. So I threw this in the order, came in, I put it on my skin, smelled it, I'm like, okay. I'm liking this a little bit more than I remember before. And then I gave it a full wearing. And then I was just totally captivated by the quality of this scent. I cannot believe how cheaply you can buy this with this quality. Man, this is a beautiful barbershop style aromatic fougere. Lots of oak moss, lots of spices, caraway is in here, lavender, has a creaminess from some sandalwood, kind of your classic, you know, formula, but done super, super refined here. And again, it's a classic for a reason. This is easily slept on. Again, the quality is just pretty remarkable. So make sure you check out Pasha de Cartier if you're looking for a cheap, inexpensive, great barbershop scent. Alrighty, up next. This is a fragrance that I did receive a bottle of from a friend, my friend A2. At the time, I could not appreciate it. I didn't hate it, but it was just so weird to me. I'm like, this smells weird. It smells like nothing I've smelled before. I don't even know how to really wear this and feel comfortable. So I ended up gifting it to a friend. And then I missed it. I actually did not smell it from that time until I decided to reacquire it. But it just kept coming back to mind over and over, so I just bought it. And we're talking about Chergui. And I knew as soon as I bought it, I got this new bottle in, I knew I was going to feel differently about it because years had gone by. I know my tastes have changed and sharpened perhaps. And I just knew, like, when I smell this, I'm going to put this on my skin and I'm going to just love it. I actually did an unboxing and first impressions of me opening this up for the first time on my Instagram. You can check that out down below at the link. And I was just like, yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I trusted my gut and reacquired it. This is beautiful. I'm glad I came around to Chergui. Beautifully warm, kind of sweet ambery scent, interesting little rustic hay note in there, some powdery iris, a sweet honey, earthy tobacco, gorgeous, elegance, refined. Check it out if you haven't. It's not that expensive either. Up next, from the house of Masque Milano, this is Hemingway. A beautiful vetiver scent. I did feature this on my top 10 vetiver fragrances. You can check that out here. And this is one that Masque Milano, they actually sent me their entire discovery set a couple years ago. I smelled all of them. I took detailed notes. I actually did a review on the whole original collection. That was a while back. You can check on my channel. And this was one that I think it was my least favorite one. It was so sharp and brash to me. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how people would really enjoy this. I think I remember writing that in my notes. But upon really wearing it, they sent me a bottle, which I was very grateful for, and really wearing it from the bottle multiple times. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful, soft, but quite earthy and sharp vetiver, accented by ginger and rhubarb. 3 kinds of vetiver in here makes it earthy, smoky, leathery, kind of fresh. Beautiful stuff. Really elegant. This one, I'm not really sure what changed, but I love it now. That's Hemingway. Okay, up next. This is another fragrance that when I smelled it, I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it. I found it like, okay, this is nice, but it was just nice to me. And at the time, people were talking this to death, and people still kind of are for a good reason. But at that time, when I first heard about it, everyone was like, this is amazing. You must buy this. And so I got a sample and I was like, okay. I didn't even finish the sample. I just kind of put it away and forgot about it. And then one day I went back to that sample, sprayed it on, and I could not stop smelling it. And I was like, okay, I feel differently about this. Found a bottle on Notino. Back at the time, it was still a thing here in the US, and scooped up this little rare 50 milliliter bottle for a good price. This is Reflection Man. That's right. There was a time when I did not care for this, and now this is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I wear it kind of sparingly for no real good reason, but every time I do come back to it, even just to smell it, it is just a soothing, refined, elegant fragrance. Been talked about a lot, so I'm not going to talk much more about it, but this was a slow burn for me. Didn't care for it at first. Now I absolutely love it. Got 3 more. Up next, from the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. Now, this fragrance was kind of a quick burn, I will say. This is, first of all, Timbuktu. Beautiful vetiver-based fragrance with incense, mango. It's such a transportive, it kind of has a balsamic feeling to it as well. Beautiful, very unique fragrance. I blind bought this bottle maybe almost 2 years ago. Blind bought it because it was getting hyped for a while and I was putting it off. So I just bought the bottle. It was just pretty inexpensive, especially on Fragrance Net for the 30 mil. And I sprayed it on and I was like, okay, that's not what I expected. This is not super pleasant to me. It was different and I could appreciate that, but it wasn't the most pleasant wearing experience, even after giving it full wearings. But it took me maybe about a month of wearing this on and off And I don't even know what to say now. I just simply love this stuff. I love how unique it is, but I also just love this scent. I love every facet of it, how all these pieces come together. I think that Bertrand Duchaufour, the perfumer, did a masterful job. This is a fragrance you could call a masterpiece. I really believe that. And that is Timbuktu. Okay, up next we got a classic from a classic house. From the house of Dior. This one has been around longer than I have been alive. Lots of people love it. Lots of people actually don't like it all that much either, but I think more people really love this stuff. And when I first smelled this in a Sephora, once again, similar to Dior Homme, I was like, this is just not pleasant. Why would I want to wear this? This smells kind of like what they're saying, like gasoline. We're talking about Fahrenheit. I did not like this at all. It wasn't even something I cared to sample, to bring home with me, to try. No. And this was an interesting one. So I would consider it a slow burn because I didn't care for it. I hated it for years. Sometimes I'd come back to it in store, try it again. I'm like, nah, no, still no. And then one day I just decided I'm just gonna buy a bottle. I feel like I should have this in my collection. It's a classic, so I just bought it, kind of twisted my own arm, bought the bottle, got it in, and I love it. From that moment on, I don't know what to tell you. I just love this stuff. This kind of sweet, almost creamy, fresh violet leaf. Doesn't really smell like petrol to me anymore, but it's unique. It's way ahead of its time. Very unique fragrance, and I think it's timeless. Slow burn, now I love it. Last one up. This was a fragrance that contributed to inspiring this list for this video. And this is one of those scents that was a hallmark example of what I've been talking about, which is you have to give it a full wearing. This was sent to me by the company, by the brand themselves. I wanted to like it, I just didn't. I just didn't like it. And this was not that long ago. I'm like, man, maybe just my tastes need more time. I just don't like this. Because I would only smell it from my hand every time. And I'm just like, oh, it's too much. I just can't. So I just put it away. And then the brand checked in with me like, hey, how are you liking that scent? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I do like it. And the representative was like, that's okay. You know, my husband felt the same way until he smelled it off of a friend in the air. And now he loves it. And now he owns it. I'm like, interesting. And up to that point, I had not given it a full wearing yet. So gave it a full wearing one day and it clicked. From the house of Teo Cabanel, this is Kasar. And this could be considered one of their more masculine offerings. Probably the most so, if you want to generalize that. This is primarily an animalic leather and oud scent. It has an earthiness to it. It does have a bit of a woodiness to it, and that leather is quite on the animalic side. But what this thing has going for it is that it is pretty soft. It wears as a soft scent. It doesn't project all that much. So it kind of just creates this aura around you. And when I wore this and I smelled it in the air, that's when it clicked. So don't be afraid of a fragrance when you first smell it, either from a paper or from your skin or in a store or whatever. There's so many factors that go into your first experience with it. You gotta come back to it. You may never know, maybe the burn just needs a little bit more time, and then you come back to it and you end up really loving it. You'd be surprised. Obviously, as you can see, this has happened many times over. So keep giving those fragrances a try that you don't necessarily like now. Come back to it later. Now, it's time for you to tell me, what are your fragrance slow burns? Give me your top one fragrance that you could not stand before or just didn't care about, or it was just okay. And now you just can't get enough of it. You know, I want to know. If you made it this far, I just want to give you another little reminder. If you have not liked the video already, like it if you like it. I appreciate that. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss this content. Hit that bell to get notified. And please, one more time, need your help. I want to keep giving back to you. I want to keep adding value to your fragrant life. And a great way you can help me do that is by supporting me on Patreon. So I hope to see you over there to become a part of the Fresh fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.